What's up, Rock Raider? Let's go! Let's go! Often imitated, never duplicated. That bull with no hair, that shouts like Ric Flair. Woo! What? Woo! Woo! The R8RBEAR! R8RBEAR! Freaking Morty Raiders!
Here's High Troculus Remix by NASA on Amazon Music.
I can't help it. I just like telling her what to do. I could play it 10 other ways. I could. R8RBEAR! Oh, I'm so excited. Let the countdown begin. Texas, I come to conquer. Alexa, hush. What's up, fam? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you all tuning in. Don't forget, April 15th, April 16th, 2-day event, barbecue event, merchandise that's going to be there. There's going to be live interviews with the show Trish Talk with my good friend Trish and her great husband, Robert, and the baby Chloe. And it's going to be incredible. We've got super fans everywhere. It's just going to be a blast. I can't tell you enough. If you can make it out to Arlington, Texas, Lexington Pavilion. Legacy Pavilion. I said Lexington. Legacy Pavilion Park. That's going to be on day 2. The first day is at the Sweet Bar. It starts at 4. It's incredible. Check it out. It's on my wall right now. You'll be able to find it on R8RBEAR family page too. I'll repost it again. But it's just going to be a blast. It's going to be a Black Sunday. No, you can't have that. No, don't ask. No, and I won't tell you where to get it. No, don't do that. It's mine. Tradish! R8RBEAR! First comment, woo! MVP tonight goes to, we have an upset. There is no Josh Russell in the gold medal round. There is no Dustin King in the gold medal round. We have a young up-and-comer in the house. Vincent Rubalcaba! What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. El Jefe tonight, Vincent Rubalcaba. Right? It's a good thing that me and Vincent didn't hang out when we were younger. I would have had him so coached up on that name. He would have walked up on girls like a soap opera star, just been like, Vincenzo Rubalcaba. And their clothes would just melt off. Really? Josh Russell, the heavyweight champion of the world, who thinks what Vincent Rubalcaba did tonight is just adorable. But he's going to whip your shut your mouth tomorrow night. What's up, Josh? Welcome to the show, my heavyweight champion of the world. Can you believe this Rubalcaba kid coming in and taking the gold from the man? I don't know what's going on. Third place. Oh, look at what Vincent interrupted tonight. Dustin King. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Vincent Rubalcaba, Josh, the heavyweight champion of the world, and Dustin, 1, 2, 3, just like that. Welcome to the show. And now we can move on from all of my nonsense. This is all just indulgent, for the R8RBEAR. That's all. Welcome to the show. Please like and follow me on YouTube. If you would, click on that little bell. And if you're on Facebook, please subscribe to R8RBEAR Live. It's just $5 a month. You can cancel at any time. I don't want to put anyone out. But just know that we really do a lot all over the planet for great causes to save lives. We've been saving animals now. We've got an elephant and a tiger. We sent 38 kids in Africa to school. We're working with St. Jude's in early onset cancer, and we're saving lives there. We've raised close to $5,000 through St. Jude's, and I sleep well at night. You know what I mean? It feels good. You know, I recommend it to anyone if you can. Not even necessarily through me, but if you can, do good when you can, because it feels great. Doesn't feel good. It feels great. I swear we're going to talk about Raider football. We really are. We're going to talk about Raider football right now. Joe McMillan, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Bear! Oh, and my first comment from YouTube was John Leon, but he kind of cheated. He was on like 10 minutes before everybody else. Right? And hey, Bear. Kaylee McLaughlin, the Bears Raider daughter in the house. What's up, love? Welcome to the show. Bobby Ware. Hey, Bobby. Welcome to the show. Bobby Raider Ware. I love that picture you and your wife put up with the kids just recently. It's awesome. Corinna Trujillo. Corinna, you won one more time. I'm going to send you my shirt here in a minute. And I'm going to throw in a couple of little goodies for you just because we appreciate you here. Ted Thane, Bear, I hope you had a blessed Easter. Ted, I appreciate you reminding me. Your kindness is appreciated. And to everyone else watching, I hope you had a great Easter, as does Ted, showing us all a little class there. Appreciate that, Ted. Travis McNeil, what's up? Good to see you back, brother. Welcome to the show. Ramiro Cashflow Castro, what's up, Ramiro? It's my guy right there. You know, he called into my show one time because he's a subscriber of mine on Facebook, and he was like sitting in his closet. And he swears he wasn't, but he was totally sitting in his closet. It's an inside joke. He just had a door by him and it had like a coat hanging on it. And then I gave him the business the whole time we were on the phone. I'm like, why would you call me from your closet, dude? Pete Mergil, what's up? Mergil, what's up, Pete? Welcome to the show. I hope I'm not butchering your name, brother. I got to guess. You know what I mean? Mark Alvarez. Look, just like the beam, okay? Just like the beam. Even if they didn't win, just like the beam. Okay, that's how much people like what's happening in Sacramento. And I feel bad that I have to come in there and crush that. Warriors! That's right, chump. I'm not just a Bay Area Raider fan. I'm a Bay Area Warrior fan. And if you think what your little purple team over there in Sacramento worries me, well, okay, here's a clue for you. Play defense. For Christ's sakes, stop trying to beat everyone by 135 points. Now it's too late to figure it out. Now the playoffs are here. You're done. Warriors in 6. Hector Hernandez. What's up, Hector? Welcome to the show. Edgar Lucky De Leon. How you doing, man? I'm doing great. I hope everyone had a great Easter. My guy, Ted Thane, gave me a good mental spanky, so I remembered to say that to everyone. AP, what's up, Anthony? Welcome to the show. David Pell-Cliver, Mount Rushmore in the house. Denton Rhodes, always keeping me. Space Force, I got it, brother. I never forget now. You do it so much, it makes me laugh so much. I do it every time now. Travis McNeil, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. I'm almost getting better. Still doing my walking therapy, even though I beat cancer. I still stuck with a doctor who removed the colon. Oh, wow. I'm stuck with my doctor for 5 years. Hector Hernandez, just remember, okay? I'm not saying this to mess with you. I'm being completely honest, okay? No matter how bad it is, somebody's got it worse. That's what I always try to remind people. You know what I mean? Because we all have those moments when life gets us down and we wonder, you know, oh, why me? Why is this happening to me? Trust me. Trust me. Your life's great. You know what I mean? My life's fantastic. Most of you watching this show, your life is fantastic. Believe that. Because remember, you say, why does this happen to me? Well, why not? Remember, what are you supposed to have a perfect life? See what I mean? We forget that. We get upset, we get emotional, and we go, oh, why me? But in reality, why not you? Why not me? You got to have something bad happen to you. You're supposed to live your whole life and never have anything bad happen to you. Think about that. I know bad things going to happen to me next year and the year after that and the year after that. I don't care. What are we not going to move forward? You know, toughen up like a bear. Destin King, how draft heavy do you think will be on defense in the first 4 rounds? We picked up a lot of offensive players, but definitely need to work on the defense. Dustin King, great comment. Welcome to the show. And I would say this to you. We're going to do a lot of work on defense in the draft. I think they want to go young on defense. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was the Dallas Cowboys who were one of the first teams back in the day. This is like in the 90s. if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, they were the worst team in football. They went 1-15. And then the very next year through the draft, they picked up all these defensive players. And they also, I mean, obviously got Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin and the running back Emmitt Smith. Well, they went from worst to a Super Bowl like that. And one of the things that gets lost in the sauce of that is that even though they hit on those offensive players, they hit on the defensive ones too. That was the key. They had an incredibly strong, smart, aggressive, fast defense. And it wasn't coaching, it was the personnel. The players were just ballers. And, you know, obviously people say, why don't they just do it again? Why haven't they been able to recreate that success? It's because it's like lightning. It literally is like lightning. You can have the right defensive draft, and then your offensive coordinator quits or gets fired, or your best wide receiver breaks his leg, and suddenly, you know, you're having a subpar year. You know, every NFL team goes through this. That's why it's so hard to win a Super Bowl. You know, people say, well, why is it taking the Raiders so long? Well, why is it taking the Cardinals so long? Why is it taking the Jets so long? Why is it taking the Lions so long? Why is it taking, you see what I'm saying? I could do this all day because there's only one winner, and there's only been a consistent few that have been winning these Super Bowls. You know what I mean? It's been the Pats a lot, obviously, you know, and so on. And then a couple, you know, teams sprinkled in, but you know, it takes time. It really does. It takes catching lightning in a bottle. I mean, look at the Buffalo Bills. I mean, we've watched the Buffalo Bills for the last 3-4 years now, and we've all been saying, oh, look, they're right there. Oh, they're right on the verge. And what's it gotten them? Nothing. And yet they look like they've got it all. They've got a great defense. They've got a great passing attack. They've got a great young quarterback. They've got an aggressive young, but experienced coach. You know what I mean? They lack a running game, which is obviously very important. But, you know, not every team can have everything. You know what I mean? So, Scotty Lutz, tell him. David Fowler, good day, Bear. I appreciate that, David. Welcome to the show. James Walker and his lovely wife, Princetta. Hi, guys. Family in the house. Mark Alvarez says, have to head down to Modesto to watch a game with you and Jay. Mark Alvarez, I would love that. I would love that. You just pick a day. You let me know. You give me a little bit of notice here. I'll get it done for you. I think that'd be a lot of fun, especially since we're going to be in the playoffs. If you want to get a game together, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do that. Make it a party. Joe Caetano, what's new? Well, what's new is a lot of people are questioning what Josh McDaniels is doing, but they're also talking about the fact that if you look at the offense, we did make one major move quietly that most people looked at it and said, okay, you know, whatever, and then they moved on. The Jacoby Myers move is really big because it gives us a solid, no doubt about it, number two, a quality number two wide receiver that we know has decent hands, we know has decent speed, we know knows this offense, but more importantly, he's going to get targets because of the attention, talk Joe, because of the attention that Devontae Adams is going to draw away from him. Routinely, he's going to get targets where he's going to be one-on-one, and he's going to have the ability to shed these guys and get targets. Whereas people say, well, he didn't do a lot with the Patriots, and his numbers with the Patriots were somewhat so-so. That's because with the Patriots, he was their number one, and he's not a number one. You see what I'm saying? So now you bring him to a team that has an actual number one and puts him where he should have been from the beginning, a genuine number two. Now the offense really is going to do some things. Then you add to that Cam Sims, the wide receiver we added. There's going to be some plays there. Now, the only thing that surprised me, and I agree with some of the analysts on, is we gave up on Darren Waller, whether it was smart or not smart. We can go past all that. But what I did see was we brought in OJ Howard and Austin Hooper. Okay, my issue with that is that neither of those are really attacking down the field or attacking aggressive tight ends. Austin Hooper is a good tight end. He will make catches for us. He's solid. He's a big guy. And by the way, he's a hell of a blocker. So now, unlike Darren Waller, you have a tight end in there that can not only make plays, but he can also block when it's necessary. So now Jimmy Garoppolo is not going to be naked if we have to run a bootleg or audible, for example. He's not going to suddenly be naked with Austin Hooper out there, a tremendous blocker. And OJ Howard, in reality, that's all he's really going to be is a blocker. It's not because he can't catch, but the guy's 6'6", 255 pounds, something like that. He's just a monster. And so he's really been brought in to be that extra offensive lineman on run plays and pass plays. He's just a great pickup. So I'm really excited about that. And then the other hot topic that's going on right now, and honestly, and I want to be honest, I'm one of those guys. I try to bring angles to Raider Nation. I don't know if you've noticed, my show is totally different from everyone else. I don't have a lot of guests on. I don't put a lot of stats on the screen and do all that nonsense. I just bring you football knowledge and understanding and what's going on with the Raiders now, and what's going on with our opponents. For example, is everyone's convinced that the Texans are going to take a quarterback, and this reporter said, "Why?" Think about it. There was a point made, and I thought it was beautiful. At first, I was like, what are you talking about? The Texans need a quarterback. We all need to know the Texans need a quarterback. They need a quarterback. They're going to take a quarterback. And then the guy said, well, and then I immediately got what he was trying to say. See, they're in the same situation we are. In reality, it doesn't necessarily make any more sense for us to take a quarterback. In reality, what we should be doing is taking the best player available at positions of need. That's it. That's why I was so glad when I heard that we're having the defensive lineman Carter in for a visit. We're having Tyree Wilson, the defensive end, in for a visit. That's beautiful. See, just go ahead and draft to strengths. Bring in defensive linemen, bring in offensive linemen, and then linebackers, DBs, safeties, defensive linemen, defensive tackles, backups, depth, which we do have already. But we can shed some of those guys if this youth looks nice. So come on, let's make aggressive things. Let's go. You know what I mean? See, to me, I have a little bit of pause with the fact that you brought in, to me, a safe tight end package on an offense that in the past attacked with the tight ends. So you had an attacking tight end, one of the best, if not the best, in my opinion, in football. I realize you can put, Kittle's numbers with the Niners up against his, and Kittle's are better. I realize the Ravens. I like the Ravens tight end, although I'm forgetting his name, and I apologize for that because he's a great player. But I think Darren Waller's combination of things was better than all of those guys, and the only flaw that Darren Waller had was his lack of solid blocking. But to me, that's a big flaw. So if you say to me, "Oh, I think Darren Waller's the third best tight end in football," I'd say, okay. You could argue he's 1, 2, or 3, top 5, obviously. But when you can't block consistently and it's not a strength of yours, that's a problem. And I don't know how many of you remember me telling you this, but also I'll just be brief. But when we had Jason Witten on the Raiders for just 5 minutes, former tight end legend of the Dallas Cowboys, he was teaching Darren Waller literally everything. I mean, Jason Witten was trying to politely say he was shocked, because he just could tell the kid just didn't know anything. He didn't understand stances and the differences and the way they give away what the play is if you don't stand properly, and so on and so forth. And you got to know which run they're calling, and so on and so forth. And just, you got to know if there's a pulling guard, and if there's not a pulling guard, if there is, you got to seal the inside. He was so far behind. It was like light years. There was just no way he was ever going to really be a completely solid tight end. It was just too much to learn, in my opinion, at the NFL level. Not to say that mentally he can't get it, but get it mentally and then produce it on the field against the best in the world. I just didn't see that. And then, by the way, while you're asking him to do it, each time he makes a mistake is a failed play, because he gets beat on a block or whatever, or makes a mistake, pass. So I was okay with the Darren Waller move. It was shocking, but I was okay with it. But now, having said that, I don't know how okay I am with just O.J. Howard and Austin Hooper. And I know we have Jesper Harstead and these other guys, but gotta look for somebody with some speed, I think. So, Joe, that's what's new. And the Texans, what's to say they don't trade down, or just pick a defensive player and leave whatever quarterback we may be interested on the board? You see what I mean? I think there's a high likelihood of that. I think the Panthers, no doubt about it, are going to take a quarterback. They're a little bit closer to a solid team. Not close enough, in my opinion. So going from one of these guys, you're saying you think he's a genuine starter. And I don't know if I would say these guys are that. Does anyone, for example, think Bryce Young or CJ Stroud should start day one? See, I don't. I don't care. Even if they know the offense, I wouldn't do it. The way you should do it is exactly the way. I hope Steeler Val is watching. Hi, love. Hi, Tommy. Hi, Doc Raider. The way the Pittsburgh Steelers handled their situation with their young quarterback was perfect, in my opinion. Bring in a veteran that's young still to challenge him. Let him watch that guy play, then bring him in somewhere mid-year to late, mid-year, and let Kenny Pickett work. And I thought that was the best way to handle it. I really did. Because when you have a rookie contract, you got to know right away if that guy's going to be viable. And if he's not, get rid of him and get someone else that's on a cheap, quick 4-year rookie deal, because you don't want to pay that money on the back end, for his bonuses and his 5th-year option, all that stuff, if you find out he's not good enough. Erman Jr., what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Hey, Mark Vargas. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Bear. Miguel Garcia, 559, Fresno Kakalaki in the house. Always there for R8RBEAR Bear. And I mean that literally. I appreciate the views, Miguel. Troy Gill, what's up? Welcome to the show. Todd, ECV, good times, Benzel. Putting foots in him. I haven't had a good reason to use my old putting foots in him in a while. But I would put foots in these Broncos. You know that as far as offseason building thus far, they gave the Raiders a B score, the article I was reading, and they gave the Broncos an A. And I was just like, I really? You know what I mean? I just feel like we made more moves in the Broncos. I feel like the moves we made were more solid. I really do. I just think that it's going to bear out again that the Broncos aren't going to be that good, and let's not forget when they got Russell Wilson, everyone got a hard on and said, oh, here they come. Poor word choice. But the point is that they stunk and they'll probably stink again, and just, I don't know. I don't understand why suddenly now, because they made that handful of things, they're an A and we're a B. I didn't get that. With 6 teams vying to trade with the Cardinals, assuming the Raiders are one of those 6, do you think they end up going out and just picking best available at 7? Yes. With the price for the 3rd pick getting too high, or trading back and getting a couple more picks. Well, Ted Thane, you answered part of your own question when you said this, with the price getting too high. Now, we know the price is getting too high because there hasn't been a deal made yet. Notice how quickly the Panthers got their deal done. They offered what was asked for, plus a little sugar on top. Done deal. Now, if you want to get deals done, that's how you got to do it. You got to know what your opponent's offering, and then you got to offer a little more. You got to come up over that, give them a little bit more sugar. And then I've done that in the past. And I've even said to people where I was bidding over someone and I made a higher bid, I then said to them, don't just take their next bid if it's higher. If their bid's higher, I want my opportunity to go higher as well. Don't make the assumption that this is the only bid. I'm not saying this is my final bid. So if that guy buys out, then it is. But if he doesn't, I'm in this. You know what I mean? And so the guy kept coming back to me, and I just kept bidding until the guy finally, dropped out. But I don't think we're going to end up with the 3rd pick. To me, all signs now are pointing toward we're going to pick at 7. And that's why we're having so many player interviews now, because now we're intensifying that, because we got to know what we want to do at 7, because I don't think we're moving to 3. I hope we are, but I don't think we're moving there now. I got a report initially that the Raiders were doing everything they could to get to that position, to do something with DeAndre Hopkins, maybe even a straight across for Hunter Renfrow, and a 4th-round pick, and DeAndre Hopkins and a 7th-round pick, where they give us the late one and we give them the earlier one, because obviously he's better at, his resume is better than Hunter Renfrow's. And then Hunter Renfrow gets replaced by DeAndre Carter, already in place, done deal. But since now the deal's dragging so long, that means there's other bids out there that must be comparable or better. Tim Heckhock, what I think is going to happen to Hunter is I think he's going to get moved. I just do. But at the same time, we brought in all these running backs, and I thought Josh Jacobs was going to get moved. I thought he was going to go to the Jets. I thought he was going to ask for a trade, and instead he just dealt with it. Well, maybe Hunter Renfrow just deals with he's going to be in competition in the slot with DeAndre Carter. But I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like that. Tim Heckhock, if you do a podcast, would you like it if they said, okay, well, you're going to be on after the R8RBEAR Bear? I mean, that's not cool. I'm messing with your audience. You know what I mean? Well, DeAndre Carter is kind of messing with his plays, because DeAndre Carter is a baller, man. I recommend any Raider go on after the show. Look on YouTube at DeAndre Carter's time with the Chargers. He was called into spot duty when I don't know why I'm snapping so much tonight. He was called into spot duty when they had a rash of injuries and sickness come all at the same time with their wide receiver group. So they had to have all their second and third guys in. They were calling guys up from the practice squad, and DeAndre Carter stood out among all of them. Roger Rother, what's up? Welcome to the show. Most of the players they picked already know Josh plays or should, but I think we need a buff up the line more since we got Jimmy. Roger Rother, welcome to the show. I completely agree with you. I've been talking about either Will Levis or Skoronski, the big offensive lineman, at 7. And to me, I just would pick Skoronski. I only said Will Levis because I felt like he's the best prototypical quarterback available if we were going to pick a quarterback to get someone that would be ready within a year. I don't know that Anthony Richardson's going to be ready within a year. I just don't. And it has nothing to do, obviously, with his physical tools. And he's not a dumb guy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just simply saying that I don't know if he's going to catch up with the things he has to learn. Because let me remind everyone just quickly, he's only started 13 games. Ever. 13 games. That's nothing, guys. With the wrinkles that defensive coaches are going to be able to throw at him with dropping safeties and blitzing corners and dropping nickels and blitzing linebackers and going up the A gap. And I mean, there's just so much. I mean, we all saw what Tua Tagovailoa went through. I mean, he was really good. I mean, he was about as ready a quarterback as you're going to see at the NFL level. Understood the offense, understood the players, already had the mechanics of the game, up here. That was the one thing about Tua I couldn't take from him. I said I would have never drafted him. I couldn't believe anyone drafted him. He has the hips of an 80-year-old. He separated his hips. That's an accident you normally never get, other than like car accidents, you know what I mean, or boating accidents, things like that, where you're hurled from a boat, things like that. But he got to the NFL level in his mind. He's got it. He can see it and he can throw it. He can see what's open, blah, blah, blah. But he just doesn't. His body betrays him. You know what I mean? He gets concussions because he can't fall right. And yeah, he's a mess. I feel terrible about him. I know this is not a Dolphin show, but I just feel bad for that guy. He should have had a better career. So Roger Rother, when we say buff up the offensive line, remember the addition of O.J. Howard is buffing up the line. He's a tight end in name only. That guy is an offensive lineman. So you're lining up basically a big dude at offensive line right next to now, for now, Jermaine Elemenor. And I love that. Ted Fain said, Corinthia, our Bulls made the play in. That's a step in the right direction. No, it's not. Why are you talking so soft? Put some foots in someone. Todd ECB, good times, Benzel. God dog it. Now you got me all riled up. If I was going to put in foots in them, I would put foots right now into everything I'm hearing about the Broncos. And I know I already did sort of, but I am a little bit more pissed off about it than I had let on just a moment ago. So I appreciate that because I'm sick and doggone tired of hearing about Russell Wilson. That guy is washed up and a little bit fat. I mean, he's living the life. I don't know if I wouldn't have done it. I probably would have got a little fat and lazy. I mean, look at our wives. His wife's hot. My wife's super hot. I mean, I would have got fat and lazy too. I just don't have that kind of money, so I can't get fat and lazy. But I got working, Michael Purifoy, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. I saw an article where Davis was being interviewed. What's the deal with Davis calling Ziegler young and underinformed, unexpected? Michael Purifoy, not only do I know what you're talking about, and I saw all of that, I have a pretty decent answer, I think, for you. Mark Davis is a moron. No, I mean that's what you get. That's what you get. Mark Davis is a moron. That's what cocaine does over long-term use. Allegedly. About the long-term part. We know he has used it. There's arrest records, okay? It's public information. Look it up. But the truth is, I don't know why he did it. I don't know why he did it. It made no sense. And to be honest with you, to capital on that even more, the question wasn't asked. He just sort of threw it out there as a way of sort of cushioning the blow by saying, the team's going to have a lot of new personnel and, you got a brand new head coach. And by the way, we're going into this draft with a brand new guy and, he's really, new to this. And he's, not as necessarily as informed as a lot of other general managers. Even if that were true, why would you say that? If it was true, why'd you hire him? And it makes you as an owner look like a boob, not the good ones. A boob, not all there. What are you doing, man? Mark Davis already said they wouldn't draft Carter. Tim, then why are they having him in for a visit? I mean, I'm just saying, Tim, I'm just bringing up the news. I'm telling you, I know there's a visit scheduled. I know there is. And I just can't see Mark Davis having anything to do with that. You know what I mean? I realize he can say, oh, I'm the owner, so I'm going to come in and veto something. But I don't know that he would do that. I don't know that he would do that. It would have to be something with like spousal abuse, because then you get into the whole thing with Fred Biletnikoff and the Biletnikoff Foundation and what happened to his daughter. And, we support that as Raiders, and Mark Davis supports it. And so that I would totally agree with you about. If this was about Carter hitting a woman, I would agree 1000%. He's not going to be a Raider, because we have a solid, serious stance about that kind of thing, which I happen to respect a lot. You know what I mean? But as far as a car accident and what happened and everything, what they'll do is they'll assume that there's a chance that he's another Henry Ruggs, that the car accident is a prequel warning of other poor decisions to come in the future. In other words, he could be a great guy, he could be religious, he could love his wife, he could be a great son, all those things, but just was raised kind of maybe on the edge, maybe has a little bit of a wild side, and it showed itself a little bit with the race car incident and then people dying from it. So is that now a warning sign? I think Mark sees it that way with Henry Ruggs and what happened. I don't know if Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler agree with him. And I think if they were to go to him and say, this guy's going to make us a winner, I think Mark would back down. I don't like you because you're quiet. What's up, Bear, in the notorious Raider Nation? Marky Lashley, what's up, brother? Looking good. Welcome to the show. Hey, Bear, I made it finally. Glenn Medina, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Yeah, staying healthy is a requisite, Tim Heckcock. It's just a requisite. That's why I don't understand the Jimmy Garoppolo move at all. I just don't understand the Jimmy Garoppolo move at all. I understand he's a veteran. I understand he knows the offense, but there is no, in my opinion, just my opinion, there is no doubt about him getting hurt, period. I've been in sports medicine for over 20 years. Okay. I've worked with pro athletes. I've worked with semi-pro athletes in multiple sports. And I'm telling you, it's my experience that when you start to get serious injuries without physical contact, in other words, you're just running or jumping, whatever the case may be, or trying to come to a stop, and you snap your Achilles or tear your hamstring from the bone, these are injuries that if they happen to you, they're going to keep happening to you, because it generally takes contact, severe action to cause those types of injuries. So when you cause them from mild action, for example, Jimmy Garoppolo tore ligaments in his knee from just going like this and trying to juke a defensive back that he was running toward. The defensive back had closed the distance and was getting ready to hit him. So Jimmy, for whatever reason, I won't lie to you. I mean, I must have rewound it 20 times. I'm a Mama Bear. Look, it was so bad. It was like it was like the worst, trying to do this and shaking I've ever seen. And I'm confirmed by that because he injured himself while doing it. It was that bad. And he tore ligaments in his knee. So if you can do that with no contact, you're going to do it again. I just don't like that. Appreciate the love, Glenn. Has Renfrow been traded yet? David Fowler, no, he has not. And to be honest with you, there's a very good chance he won't be. I mean, we have to remember they brought in a lot of guys at wide receiver, but Keelan Cole, he's a good guy, but he dropped a few balls last year. He's not a guy that we're 100% sure on. We did re-sign him, but I wouldn't say he's better than Hunter Renfrow. I would say he's a good guy to have on your bench in case your other guys get hurt. You can bring him in, and he is a dynamic receiver. He's got good speed. He's got decent hands. I did see him drop a few balls last year that I wasn't pleased about. To me, those look like lack of concentration drops, and I don't like seeing that from a veteran wide receiver. Glenn Medina said, do we draft a quarterback and who? Glenn, I'm going to give you what I think we're going to do, and then I'll give you what I would do. I think we are going to draft a quarterback. I don't think it's a good idea. I'm starting to get off of it now. I don't like any of these guys necessarily a lot. I just think that they have potential and they're the best of what's available in this draft. And I'm starting to get a picture from that with evidence. Now, for example, my evidence is when I look at how other teams are starting to react. You're hearing more news now that the Seahawks aren't interested in these quarterbacks. The Lions aren't interested in these quarterbacks. And there's even a little bit of whisper that obviously they don't want this to get out because they can still negotiate someone trading up to their spot. And, you can't know what they're going to do because then maybe you don't. So to keep the leverage, they're being quiet about this. But there's more than one voice saying that the Texans, they understand that they wouldn't mind having one of these quarterbacks. They know they do need to get a quarterback. But what if they don't just do again what they did last year and just bring in a backup, bring in a veteran, and just do the best you can? You know what I mean? Because what difference does it make? They're not going to win a Super Bowl. They're not going to win their division. They're not a very good team. They've been bad for who knows how long. So why not just try to build a better team, man? I mean, why not bring in 2 linebackers and 2 defensive backs and 2 safeties and 2 corners and, really try to build just a gnarly defense? And then next year, now that you have your defense built and it's young, then go look for a quarterback like Caleb Williams of USC, someone like that. Or maybe draft one of these guys as a project like the kid from UCLA, who I happen to love, by the way, that kid Dorian something. Love that kid. Draft either Kincaid from Utah or Shoemaker from Michigan at tight end in the draft. Shoemaker I've heard about. I'm not too familiar with Kincaid. And when I say not too familiar, I don't mean I don't know who he is. I know who he is, but I mean, I haven't really sat down and really looked at video or broken down Kincaid of Utah. So I can't really speak intelligently there. And I want to say that out loud because I don't like people to get this false impression that because I know football and I've been doing a show for quite a long time, that I come on and act like Mr. Perfect. I don't know everything. You know what I mean? There's times when guys get behind me. There's things that I don't know. You know what I mean? It happens. But, more often than not, I'm pretty caught up. For example, Schumacher with Michigan would be something very interesting because we have what I said earlier. We have sort of an undynamic tight end room right now. And we're not used to that. We're used to having a Darren Waller, a guided missile, for the attack. I'd like to have at least one guy that can do that. And Schumacher would be a nice route running, good size, good hands, and good to get him in young. You can just start him and see what he's got. You know what I mean? I like start him in the preseason, but see what he's got. And then if he's nice, maybe we look at getting him a lot of plays. Not to mention that really nice linebacker, Jack Campbell of Iowa. They're projecting him as a 2nd-round pick, and we have a really high 2nd-round pick. I would love it if we pick that kid up, man. I mean, that guy is a Swiss Army knife at linebacker. He does it all. I would love to see that. Tim Hecklock says, I think I would say Hendon Hooker 2nd round. Tim Hecklock, your football. I would agree with that because to be quite honest with you, before he was injured, he was considered the best quarterback in this crop. And so now he has an Achilles tear and now suddenly he's not as good as all those guys. I just don't know if that's true. I think the economics and the business of football sometimes get in the way of the team's best interests. For example, if anyone takes Hendon Hooker in the top 10, they'll be called a fool. They'll be called a fool for taking the risk. They'll be called a fool for for knowing they could have got him later in the draft. Even if it was a late 1st rounder, you probably could have got him in the late 1st, early 2nd. They're going to call you a fool. Call me a fool then. I just don't understand. It. If you think the kid's going to be all right and he shows up and he does his pro day and he looks great and he lifts weights and he comes and he has dinner with you and he looks great and he's not limping and all those things, and he's got all that talent, but you're going to say, nah, I'm going to pass on that guy and go with one of these other guys, even though he's clearly been better than all of them. He just tore his Achilles. Now, Achilles surgery replacement and repair is better than it's ever been. It's actually improved again just in the last year and a half. Yes, I read the medical journals. I'm boring like that. But it's improved yet again in the last year and a half. I just wish Kobe Bryant had still been alive, and I wish his tears in his legs would have happened now. I really think he would have been okay. And I think he came back too soon because you know how Kobe was. You know what I mean? In fact, you don't even have to be a Kobe fan to know how Kobe was. He was just so relentless. But he would have probably made it. He probably would have played a lot longer. It has to happen. We can all be upset about Waller, but Why keep him when this class is loaded with tight ends? Exactly. Not to mention, he not only give you 8 to 10 games with injuries, plus he seems more involved with his music. Or Corey Greth, that whole music thing's going to stop. I really think the music was just a dalliance. You know what I mean? He probably liked doing it when he was in high school, that kind of thing. And now that he has the money, he wanted to see if maybe he could cut it. He can't. It's pretty bad. I listened to most of it. I think it's garbage. And it's not because he left. I'm not mad at him. I wish Darren Waller success. I wish we'd been able to keep him with us, but his music's bad. And I think he's going to get enough feedback about that from people and probably stop. And more importantly, I think that was just, again, just something to do while he was rehabbing and wasn't with the Raiders. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but there were a couple times where they reported that Darren Waller was ready to come back and Josh McDaniels told him not to. You know what I mean? And for those people that were confused about that, there's a multitude of reasons why you would do that. Maybe you don't want to figure him back into the offense because you don't like how he blocks against the run. You don't want to get your quarterback blindsided because he's a poor blocker altogether, even in pass packages. Maybe you want to use him as trade bait, which we obviously ended up doing. Okay, so there's your answer. But maybe you want to use him as trade bait. So you say, stay at home. We're going to tell other teams that you're fine. And we're just not even going to risk you getting hurt. And other teams like that. They want to see you bench him. So now if they're in negotiations with you about him, they know nothing can go wrong. And that's essentially what happened. Stephen Lee, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Appreciate the say what's up from Florida. Troy Gill, sorry I haven't been keeping you. Just lost. Oh, goodness. Troy, I'm sorry, brother. I lost my dad just last year, brother. So, you know, I try to tell people all the time, don't say I know how you feel to someone when they're really down unless you really can relate and know how they feel. You know what I mean? I had a friend and I hadn't seen him in a long time and he had a child and the child died. It had a stillbirth and it was like really, really young. It was only like weeks old and the baby died. And there was nothing nefarious. It was just a thing with its heart and the baby died. And I remembered trying to hug him and console him and talk to him, but I never once said, I know how you feel, brother. I know how you feel. I understand. No, there's no way I could understand the depth of that kind of grief. You know what I mean? So I just, all I did was hold him. You know what I mean? That was it. Just held him. Yeah, Stephen Lee, they're always hyping the Broncos and it gets annoying and more and more importantly too, whatever weaknesses they may have, we're going to hear about them again because we brought in that kid Bobin Moyer as our long snapper and everyone was confused by that because we broke up our trio that we had in special teams that had been together like 8-9 years. And they really had a good thing going. So we let go of our long snapper. It didn't make any sense to people, but we got this guy, so we get him from the Broncos. Now we're getting a little inside information, more than likely, on the Broncos. So that's pretty cool. Mark Vargas, I appreciate that. And Troy Gill, some of my viewers are just letting you know that they're sorry for your loss, brother. Travis McNeil, hey, Bear, do you think we have a good enough O-line to protect Jimmy? And if not, what do you think we should do to make our O-line better? Travis McNeil, we got to do two things. You got to bring in a veteran wide receiver and a young wide receiver of the future. Receiver. You got to bring in a veteran offensive lineman and a young offensive lineman to bring in to see what they got there. Now, by re-signing Jermaine Elemenor, you took care of the veteran part. So now we have a veteran wide receiver there that we know we can trust. He plays well. He only gave up a handful of pressures last year and a couple of sacks. I think it was 3 for the whole season. So not bad, not, super good, but definitely not terrible. So I like the re-signing. Veteran guy, knows what we're doing, knows the offense. Now you go into the draft, you get a guy. So see, sometimes when you make a re-signing, that's kind of the club's way of saying, we may have re-signed this veteran, like say a Roderick Teamer. Okay, we know we re-signed Roderick Teamer. When you re-signed Roderick Teamer, you were basically saying, okay, I'm going to solidify the safety position, but am I going to bring in a free agent to pair with him, or am I going to bring in a kid? And then you see, obviously, we brought in Marcus Epps from the Eagles. So sometimes it's a young guy, sometimes it's free agency. In this instance, I think we're going to go with a young guy, offensive lineman. I don't know who, but we'll go with an offensive lineman at some point in the draft to study behind Jermaine Elemenor. And then hopefully that will be our next Colton Miller on the right side. And we'll be able to solidify that line. Have we done enough yet, Travis McNeil? No, we haven't done enough yet, but we've done enough to where we don't have to worry about Jimmy. In other words, I like OJ Howard on the right side with Jermaine Elemenor. They're going to use that package a lot. And you're just going to switch OJ Howard in and out occasionally to threaten the pass. And you can still run out of the package, even if you bring in Austin Hooper, because he's such a fantastic blocker. So you still have trickeration there. You still could be fooling them. For example, if OJ Howard's in there all the time, he never runs a pass route and he always run blocks. And then you pull him out and bring in Austin. It's a just a blaring signal to the defense that you're going to throw the ball now. Well, not necessarily. So I like that. He was a perfect pick in that way. I love how everyone in the NFL world is clowning us, but I think as weird as this offseason has been and with all the negative backlash, but mark my words, brother, watch us make the playoffs. I don't doubt that we have the roster building. So far, I like what I've seen. I won't lie. Because what these other analysts are telling you basically is that you're going to the well with the Patriots and you're going to it too often with guys that are just guys. They're good, they're solid, but they're not going to bring you to the promised land or whatever, they're getting at. But the truth is, didn't we just watch him use just guys in New England for a decade plus and win more Super Bowls than anyone has in a long time with the very ideas they were working there? And he's implementing some of them here. I would say the only thing I don't like about what Josh McDaniels has done so far about that whole thing is I think he's gone into it a little too much. It's just a little bit too much dipping into the, hey, this guy used to play for me. Hey, this guy used to be a Patriot. Hey, this guy was on our practice squad. Let's bring him in. Former Patriot that's now with the Panthers or the Broncos. Okay, let's reach out and get that guy, bring him back for the practice squad, and then slide him into the lineup somewhere because I like that guy. I like how he plays. There's a lot of that going on. And to me, you can't go to the well, no matter how good the water is in it, over and over again, and expect to keep getting out crystal clear. It's not going to happen. Sooner or later, you're going to get mud. And I don't like that he's just consistently going to the Patriot way and the Patriot guys and former Patriot guys and former Broncos that used to play for him. Dude, it's okay to bring in, to me, I don't know. It's almost a sign of fear that he doesn't know that he can coach these guys up. Or is it a sign of knowledge that he knows how hard that is? And you want the least amount of guys that you have to get on the same page as possible. It could be that. I don't know. I'm hoping that's what it is. I want to put Tim Heckcock's comment on here because it's fantastic. No. Tim, I appreciate that you at least capitalized it. That was good. Okay, here we go. Kenny Blair, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Mark Alvarez, $3,000 ticket in Sacramento. First playoff game. Princess here are insane. Prices. Reminds me of the Raiders versus San Francisco game in Vegas. Yeah, Mark Alvarez, there's just nothing I can't say anything to you guys about what Raider tickets cost and that kind of thing. There's just nothing we can do about that. I don't know how to say it any more honestly than that. Mark Davis's deals that he made with B of A and the building of the stadium and all the economics of it made us one of the most expensive tickets in all of football. But this is the sign of the times. I don't know how many of you've noticed this, but the Dallas Cowboys are in the process of building a new stadium. They've been doing it for a few years now. Why is it taking so long? Because they're literally building a town around it of stores, restaurants, malls, bowling alley, movie theater, literally everything. So now when you go to a Dallas Cowboys game, it's more like a Disneyland experience because what they want you to do is fly in on Friday, go there, do all the shopping in the restaurants on Friday, then Saturday, go there for the movies and go bowling and play games and all that stuff. And then Sunday morning, you show up at the stadium for the game. I mean, to be honest with you, it sounds kind of cool. It means it's like a package of a vac.
Talking about doing that back in 2009, that was when I worked at GDI. They were talking about doing all of that, building it around the Cowboys Stadium, and they were getting bonds and permits for all that insurance.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't want to interrupt Mama Bear, but she was saying basically way back in 2009, she had personal business with some companies and companies that were working with her company, getting the insurance together and doing work on the Dallas Cowboys' new businesses and stadium and so on there. So she was aware of it way back then. And then I looked it up and found out about it and was just blown away. I mean, there's video online if you want to see it of Jerry Jones flying over it in a helicopter, and the place is just, it's monstrous. It's an adult Disneyland. It literally looks like they built a small town. It's crazy. And so what I'm getting at is that's going to be the experience for everyone now. And to be honest with you, the NFL was begging Mark Davis to sell when his dad died because they didn't think Mark Davis could handle the job. They're right. And they know he had no real estate background, that he wouldn't know how to build this, and they were right. And so he saw the perfect counter move, Vegas. The playland's already built around it. People vacation there every week, every day. Let's be honest. So you put the Raiders there, it suddenly goes up there with Celine Dion and the magic shows with the White Lions. And you're drawing everyone from all over the world, not just the United States. So it was a power play by Mark Davis. I get it. It was ballsy. I liked it, but you can't be the brokest owner in the NFL and expect to get away with that. I think he pissed off the wrong people in the NFL, upper ups. And I've already said it. I said it 4 years ago. And I'm saying it like I said it yesterday, because 4 years is nothing. 4 years might as well be 4 days. We're talking about billionaire stuff. So it takes time. But they're going to give him enough rope to hang himself, and he's going to be put in a position where he's going to be forced to sell. It's not going to be where I've had viewers on my show and they say, Mark Davis will never sell. He loves the team too much. It's not about whether he would want to do it or not. They will logistically force him to. Tommy, look up logistically. Stephen Bobo, what's up, though? Welcome to the show. Scotty Lutz, I see you there. What's up, brother? Welcome. Rude Boy Raider 305 in the house. What's up? Tim Heckhock said, I like Will Anderson, but he'll be gone by 7. Oh, Tim Heckhock. I mean, the Cardinals are talking about making that move because the Cardinals don't necessarily like the offers that they're getting. That was the last thing I heard, is that they might shock everyone and just say, we don't like any of these offers. We're going with Will Anderson. Everybody just keep it moving. See if you can do something with the Colts at 4. You know what I mean? And they won't. Roger Rother said, Bear, I'm at work and my coworkers are damn Viking fans. Can I get one of your Raiders? A Raiders! And a whoop whoop for those dirty Viking fans. I don't know why I added dirty. It just felt right. Apologize to him, brother. I didn't mean anything. I'm sure they're clean. I'm sure they shower. Oh, so Raider, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. The president, TNBC crew in the house. What's up, brother? The countdown begins. 5 days, 6 days. I'm in Texas. April 15th, 4 days. My math is garbage. April 15th and the 16th. That's 2 days. I know I got that one right. I'll be out there with my guy, Oso Raider, TNBC Crew's president, hosting TNBC Crew's 6th annual Booster Club Party season kickoff event. And it's going to be a blast. I already, Oso Raider, just so you know, I did already plug the show, but I'm going to do it again because it's going to be incredible. We're going to have so much stuff going on. There's going to be things for the kids to do, vendors and so on. I'm going to go up there and do my thing. And I promise I'm going to keep it clean. I know there's going to be lots of kids and so on there. So that's how I do my thing. I do have a little bit of Chris Rock's Chappelle show in me, but not in that environment. No, you got to come here for that. No, not even here. Maybe I should do a page that's just like that and just go off on it. No, I shouldn't even suggest that because now they're going to want me to do it. Right? Wade Raider was here and he was like, come on, Bear, come on.
Calling people mofos.
I had to say this over and over again. The thoughts and words of Wade Deadpool Raider are not conducive to those to Raider Bear family page. We're sorry. Let's see. Mark, do you consider us being rebuilt mode with a new quarterback and a whole bunch of guys? And how do you think we're going to do this season? Mark Alvarez, I think we're going to win games. I think we're going to get into the playoffs only because we have an experienced quarterback that knows this offense, so you have less of those hiccups. We have the best running back in football, in my opinion. And now a coach that understands, I think, that all he's got to do is build some defense for us. And we could be viable right now for the next 3 or 4 seasons really go out there and, and put it to some people.
And
What's up, Mama Bear?
I just wanted to tell Mark Alvarez we have a better basketball team than him. Just wanted to add that in there, Mark.
Just like the beam. Okay, just like the beam. I love the slogan, man. I do, but you're gonna get your foot. I'm gonna. Oh, you're gonna feel this Converse, brother. It's gonna be way up in here, okay, and it's gonna be full of Klay Thompson threes. You're not gonna be able to swallow them. We got to talk lots of junk now because that young team looks tough. So if we lose, we can just be like, so anyway, what else is going on in the news? Yeah, they're gonna be tough. I like the Kings. I do. I like what they've done. They're spunky. There's this little problem though. You have to play defense. Can't play 135 points on everybody. It's not gonna happen. If you try to play that way with us, not good.
Are you excited about Saturday and
super
Saturday?
excited? Are you kidding me? I've never been to Texas. I've been to a lot of places, but I've never been to Texas. And I hear everything's bigger and better in Texas. So I got to go there and give it to them.
We have to have a steak while we're there.
Look who's in here. Been reading your comments, and it's fantastic the way you support the Raiders. Edward Winchell, my guy, Winchy, who I get to meet for the very first time in Texas. Super excited about that.
Nice. We get to meet Winchy?
Yeah.
Yay. How exciting.
Oh. Dennis Leach, I'm so sorry, brother. That's terrible. Dennis, listen. Anytime you need just a little pick me up, you come tune into the Raider Bear and Mama Bear. We got you, brother. Okay, honest. I can't say I know what you're going through. I don't. I just got done talking about that. I don't know if you were on, but I will never tell you I know what you're going through, man, because that's tough. Because I have sons, and so God bless you. But anytime you need that little pick me up, you want to have some fun and just try to bring your mind somewhere else, you come see the Raider Bear. I got you, brother. We will move on from McDummy after next year. Glenn Medina, I don't think so. They made it very clear that they plan on having a 4 to 5 year plan. They've talked about the fact that Mark Davis understood that this is a 4 to 5 year plan. Now, not 4 to 5 years that we finally win. In other words, no, there's no rainbow at the end of year 5 and suddenly we win a ring. What they mean is that they're going to build a consistent winning franchise. Because let's be honest, that is really what the Patriots were. Whether they were cheating or not, whether they were stealing video and all those other things, which we know they were, okay? But bottom line is they got it done. They won a lot of games and a lot of Super Bowls. Now, I'm not saying I want to cheat because I don't. I don't like cheating. I'm looking right into the screen. And I'm telling you, I do not like cheating, and I do not want to win that way. And if the Raiders win that way and we find out about it, I want them to give them back. I'll say that without blinking, unequivocally, because the bottom line is you don't know if you won if you cheat. You may have won, but you don't know if you could have won. You don't know if you were good enough, if you were smart enough, if you were strong enough or fast enough. See, anytime I compete against anyone, I don't care what it is. I give you my best, and I'll tell you right to your face, you're probably going to lose today. Because I'm as confident as gets. I don't care what we're doing. If we're running a race or playing tiddlywinks, whoa, the Raider Bear are going to bring it. Okay? Now, having said that, don't cheat.
How about playing Jenga?
Just no. I don't want to play Jenga unless it's naked Jenga.
I don't like tiddlywinks. That sounds just so dated.
Tim Heckcock, Elemenor was nice, though, for us in spot duty at right tackle. And they did have him slotted as a guard initially. And when they tried him at right tackle, he played well, though. That's the thing. And so when they re-signed him, they made it clear that they re-signed him because of what he did at right tackle. Now, granted, I think that we should move on from that. I think we should look for someone great. Now, Northwestern has this kid, Skoronski. To me, most people feel like he's the best offensive lineman, if not the best right tackle specific offensive lineman in the country. See, to me, you go get that guy, big brick house, bring him in, let him see the game, let him feel the game, and then bring him in once you got him ready. Tanamoku, I don't know if it's that Josh wants people he can order around. He wants people that will react that way, that performed already under the Patriot way, which meant the curmudgeon, and you're under the thumb of Bill Belichick, which is ridiculous. But Yeah, but at the same time, I think it's more a familiarity of what he does. I don't think it's just that he wants them to come in and know that he's not a rah-rah coach. I heard people say that he's bringing in his people so they'll react well to how he coaches because they already know that he's a stale coach. He doesn't give you the pep talk, run through a wall for me, guys. He doesn't do that. He's more like a politician. He just tells you, okay, guys, here we go. This is what we're going to do today. This is the game plan. Now let's get out there and execute. And that's it, and he expects the players to go out on the field and get themselves fired up, and he said, and I'm quoting him. He said, if you're a professional at this level, you don't need that. You don't need someone to say, let's do it for the Gipper. Let's go out there and win one for Al. No, be a professional. You're being paid a lot of money. You get to do something while paid a lot of money that most men dream of. Even if you play for a short period of time, I can't think of too many guys that wouldn't say, yeah, I'd love to have a 3-year run or a 2-year run, hell, even 1 year in the NFL, making that kind of money and playing on television or even just being on the team. I mean, that's amazing, man. I don't know what I would do. I don't know how some of these guys contain themselves because I know, honestly, I would be stupid. I'd be like in year 3 or 4 going, can you guys believe I get paid to do this? I get paid to run around and catch a football. I mean, right? Can you believe it? I think I would do that like every other day. Tim Heckhock, Magic Johnson did make strong moves, but he was a little too strong. In other words, the report I got is that Mark Davis immediately felt threatened. See, Magic Johnson originally came in to just buy partial ownership into the Raiders. And when they started having initial conversations, it seemed fine. And then Magic Johnson came to Mark Davis with the rest of his conglomerate of billionaire, millionaire guys that were going to consolidate their money and then, move in on it. There were those whispers that if you get enough, obviously, I mean, I know you all know where I'm going. If they get enough stock, they could actually force him out. If they have enough ownership, they could, vote no confidence in the owner. And then the NFL would support them and they could push him out. See, don't forget that the NFL is still a league that has some control over who can be an owner of a team in their league. They still command that. So when I say Mark Davis is vulnerable and people say I'm crazy, no, I'm not. And you got to be careful. Mark Davis has got to be careful. You guys got to watch this scene. Just remember, keep coming back to your boy R8RBEAR because I'm going to keep you caught up on it. But I'm worried about Mark Davis's future as the owner of the Raiders. I'll give him time. But if what happens with this move to Josh McDaniels doesn't work and doesn't work quickly, he's going to be in financial problems paying back Bank of America and staying ahead of this stuff. And he may have to look to people to get loans, to give stock out, to get loans, to then pay his bills. And he'll try to stay viable that way, but that doesn't work. All you're doing is buying time. In reality, most business owners know if you're going backward like that and you're having to give up ownership of your company, as a rule, all you're doing is buying time. You should have sold from the beginning because now you've been putting money into it, giving more power away, and now you're going to get less. No, Glenn Medina, I probably will not do an uncensored show. Maybe something like that. Well, it might be fun to do something like at midnight on the weekend. Because I got to make sure none of my kids are watching me. I got a lot of kids that watch me too. So, I try to keep it right for everybody. I had a viewer a while back too that had a grandmother that watched my show a lot. And she would actually come on and actually comment every once in a while. And so right when I saw that, I was like, okay, I can't be cussing in front of grandma. So the worst you get is putting foots in him for the most part. All right, guys, that's my show. Alexa, resume. Yeah, it worked that time. More snaps. All right, that's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force, for all you do. The energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice, active and veteran, every night, every day, from the heart. Much love. To my viewers that lost loved ones that we were just talking, Dennis Leach, God bless you, brother. I'm sorry, I lost the comment for my other viewer. But God love you, brother. And just remember, either of you, man, you come back and Bear got you. Okay. Much love. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'll be back on again tomorrow at 8. I will be on for my supporters, Facebook supporters, 4 o'clock tomorrow, maybe 5. I'm thinking about changing the time to 5 so more people have an opportunity to come on and go live with the Bear. That's right. If you're not on Facebook, get on Facebook, get a subscription to Raider Bear family page, and you can go live with the Raider Bear one-on-one, and we talk this business. Oh, it's even better than what I'm doing now. I swear. I'm serious. Because I'll get hype with you. I'm just kidding. I don't really cuss still, but I'll tell you some stuff I don't tell you on my normal show. I can tell you that much. Oh, it's true. All right, that's my show. Much love. See you tomorrow.